What's up YouTube? It's Derek, YouTube channel Fast FZ09. Been a little bit since I've done an update video. Thought I would show you guys the shock cartridge kit. I got the Samco hoses on my bike and a few other little things that I've added since the last video I did. So you guys know that I bought aftermarket suspension, right? I got a K-Tech Razor R light rear shock. I had my buddy Troy install that. Looks awesome. The performance benefit that this offers is definitely worth it. It's a lot more predictable, a lot more stable. I got a lot more feel with the back end, and the bike just tracks really straight. So I'm stoked on the K-Tech shock. You guys know the two that I got the Andriani cartridge kit. You can see it's got a new port cap on the top on either side. I don't know if you can see it on this side or not, maybe. But yeah, the front end feel with the cartridge kit installed, it's money well spent. It's really hard to beat it. I'm pumped on how the Andriani kit turned out. And also I added these Samco radiator hoses. I'm running engine ice, so you guys can see it's the, I got the red color like I mentioned in a previous video. But I have noticed that with the Samco kit, the bike is running, on average it's running maybe you know, 10 to 15 degrees cooler, which the bike runs more efficiently. It's with engine ice installed, makes a little more power with a cooler running motor. And also I told you guys in a previous video too, as far as the cooling system on the bike, I am running the Graves high performance cap. Lets the pressure get a little bit higher, and the bike just runs more efficiently. Also, I had Chris at Drippin' Wet Graphics out of Pennsylvania. I reached out to Chris, told him I wanted some new graphics, some new logo design for my bike. And I told him that I wanted to implement my YouTube channel. And on a lot of Chris's graphics, he designs a lot of stuff for you know, pro, really high amateur level riders, as well as just guys that do track days or just riders in general. But he does phenomenal work, Chris at Drippin' Wet. And I told him that I wanted to implement my cat, our cat, my wife's cat as well. Our cat's name is Luna. She's got a lot of personality, really cool. So I said, I want to work her into the logo if you can. So that's what he did. He designed just my name on there like most of the guys get, but I got my cat Luna. She looks kind of sinister on there. She's got a lot of personality, so I thought that'd be pretty cool. But he did this graphic for me. Then on this side, he did, you know, YouTube channel Fast FZ09 and got the same logo on there. He also hooked me up with this, which is pretty sweet. It's a Nikki Hayden tribute sticker. Pretty cool, and it's all black and white, which I think looks awesome. And I thought about running a few other stickers on the fender, but I thought, nah, just the tribute sticker. I think that's very fitting and looks really good. And then most track day organizers want you to run a shift pattern sticker on your tank. For the sole reason that if you were to crash and a corner worker needed to move your motorcycle, they could instantly look at the tank and determine if it's standard shift or if it's a reverse shift pattern, commonly known as GP shift. And I had Chris do a graphic for that, just to put it on there, so I don't have to put you know, just a piece of tape on there. So it's obviously I'm running GP shift or reverse shift pattern. So he hooked that up, put that on there. Looks pretty good. And then I'm also running just a cool, what I thought was a cool Drippin' Wet sticker on the side. And I went ahead and put Andriani sticker on there, just kind of make that look good. But I'm pretty pumped on that. And then the last, well, I rode last weekend, had a pretty good ride. And the last two videos I put on there are from that ride. That day we had an awesome time riding in Virginia, North Carolina. But I only shot like 10 minutes of video, just kind of one of those days. So I made two little short and sweet videos from that footage. I'm not sure 100% if we're riding tomorrow. If we do, you know, I'll mount up my camera and run it because the weather looks really good. So if we ride, I'll run it. But the two rides that we did previously to that, I had taken my GoPro both times and I just decided not to run my camera, just one of those deals. Sometimes I think the GoPro enhances the ride because you're able to capture, you know, what happens that day or get some cool footage of you and your buddies riding. And other times I think that running the GoPro can kind of hinder your ride sometimes. If you run it every time that you ride the bike, I think it tends to take away from actually just enjoying being out on your motorcycle and riding. So if I had run it the last two rides though, previously to that, I'd have had some cool footage. Like a couple of weeks ago, I guess it was 3 weeks ago, the closest that I have ever come in my entire time riding motorcycles in the mountains, which I've got, you know, years of experience up there and thousands and thousands and thousands of miles in the mountains. I've been really lucky. I've had a few close calls with deer. Never hit one, but I literally came the closest that I have ever come to hitting a deer on my motorcycle a couple of weeks ago. I was on a road that I'm real familiar with. Actually, Andy and Christian were behind me. And it's a wonder that didn't hit either one of those guys too. But we had 2 doe kind of run right out in front of us. And big shout out to EBC Brakes for making my bike stop. I'm running EBC Double H pads and Spiegler stainless lines. So my brakes on this thing are pretty stout, and I was able to get stopped. And you know, most of the time when you see one deer run out, there's usually 2 more behind it. And this time of year, you know, October, the rut's getting ready to happen, and the deer just are running all over the place, going crazy. And it's a wonder that we didn't get either one of us hit the animal, but thank God that didn't happen. And then I was riding that the next weekend, I had my camera, was not running it, and I was actually riding on a road that we ride pretty regularly, and was following my buddy Lindsay. You guys have seen Lindsay in numerous videos on my channel. Lindsay recently got a 17 R1, badass Yamaha R1, 2017 model, is sweet. And I was right behind him on a road that we're real familiar with, and I kept feeling gravel getting kicked up on the road from his bike. And Lindsay's one of those guys that, you know, there's a few guys that I'll ride pretty close with and not worry about it. Lindsay's one of those guys. So I was pretty close to him, and felt like I was getting peppered with rocks the whole time. We get to where we stopped to eat at, and Lindsay walks over to me and he's like, "Hey man, did you notice a lot of rocks on that road?" And I was like, "Yeah, you think?" And we looked at my windscreen, and there was a freaking hole punched right in the middle of my windscreen. This is a Puge Sport Height screen. And under this piece of tape, I just put a piece of tape on this side and the back side to kind of cover that hole and add a little sinister smiley face. Looks pretty cool. But yeah, it punched a hole probably about that big, right dead center in the middle of my screen. It's a wonder it didn't hit my headlight. I mean, if you can see, it's just a couple of inches lower. It would have shattered that. And if it would have hit my visor on my helmet, it would have shattered my visor, because my visor is more or less the same durability and same thickness as this screen. So that could have been really bad. That's a pretty big rock, and it's coming off a powerful motorcycle too, R1, you know. So and I also looked at my radiator, and this is why in the mountains, more or less on any road, but where we ride, there's some roads that are really pebble free and really smooth. There's other roads that we ride on that are freaking covered in rocks and gravel, so you really got to kind of be on your toes a little bit. But this is why I run a Cox radiator guard, right? This radiator guard is $100 from Cox. But if you can look on here, you can see, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but on that same ride following Lindsay, not only did it crack my screen, which I'm not gonna buy a new screen, I'm just gonna run a piece of tape on that. I'm not spending $120 to fix that one little hole, so I'll just run that for now. But looked at the radiator guard, and I don't know if it'll pick it up or not, but you can see there's a big indentation there where a rock hit it on that same ride. You come down a little bit more, there's one right there as well. So you can see that radiator guard, $100, saved me basically from having to buy a whole new radiator, and that would have definitely ended my ride. If this had been a stock radiator with no guard, it would have definitely broke that, and my radiator would be shot, and I probably wouldn't have been able to ride home that day. So you guys, that is a testament to how good a Cox radiator racing guard is. Radiator guard, I should say. But check them out if you hadn't seen them. They're worth the money, especially riding in the mountains like we do. But yeah, big shout out to Chris at Drippin' Wet for designing my graphics. Awesome product with the K-Tech shock. Androni Fort cartridge kit is badass. And then yeah, pretty much just a little update video. Kind of wanted to clue you guys in. And any thoughts or comments, hit me up, let me know. And if there's also any ideas you guys have for videos, like a topic video or anything like that, leave in the questions in the comments, and I'll get back to you. So thanks for watching, and you guys take care.